Over the years of dealing with people and watching what goes on around me, I learned that generous people are a blessing to everyone, but that they are a curse to themselves. I was talking to somebody not too long ago who was telling me that you could tell who your real friends are just by paying attention to who and who doesn't give back to you. And I remember her telling me how if she were less nice, maybe she wouldn't feel so taken advantage of all the time. And this person is someone who I consider to be generous, right? Someone who gives because it makes them happy and not because they expect something in return. Those kinds of people are pretty hard to come by, but I've met a few. And in getting to know these generous people, I learned exactly what it is that gets them hurt. It's the fact that they give from the kindness of their hearts, but that others give out of self interest. It's that they give something and they expect nothing in return, but that when others give, they tell you it's not a big deal, but then down the road, they act entitled and almost like you owe them something. And I guess the easiest way to show what I'm talking about is to look at doing favors for people. Um, just think about a few times that you've asked for a favor from somebody who wound up doing that favor for you. Obviously, a favor isn't a deal, it's not an exchange, it's not a contract. A favor is something that is asked of someone, and it's something that somebody does because of who it is and because you are kind enough to do somebody that solid. So, down the road, when they slap you in the face with that favor and they say, but remember, I did this for you, in a way that shows that they're entitled and that they genuinely expect something from you and are upset when you're not giving them that something. Obviously, that's going to make you feel dumb. It's going to make you feel dumb for taking somebody's kindness and believing it to be selfless when in actuality it was selfish. Again, the problem is that the nature of favors isn't founded on owing somebody back. That's what deals, contracts, exchanges, that's what all that stuff is for. And all this got me thinking about generosity itself, which obviously exists in many ways for many people, right? Some people give time, others their money, some people give their support, others give love, gifts, the list goes on. And still, no matter what it is that you give from the bottom of your heart out of pure kindness, most people will never give anything back. Even when you hold the door for somebody, they rarely say thank you, at least where I'm from. And that's been the case for basically everywhere that I've gone. But when something is given to you, it turns out that the giver's kindness was only there because they expected something back down the road. And however way I may feel about that, it's not a surprise. And frankly, it shouldn't be to anybody. We live in a very self-interested world, and I'm sure that we all know that. But maybe that idea slips some of us sometimes, and maybe that's why we get hurt, right? I don't consider myself generous. I consider myself pretty regular. I give every now and then, but only to a small circle of people. And because of this, it's easy for me to sort of sit back and watch people who do give a lot and watch them get hurt. And over the years, I learned this one thing just by living and dealing with people and watching others around me get hurt, right? And I think it's something that everybody needs to know, especially something that generous people need to live by. So if you're generous, listen up. Everything in this world that you give is a gift, but everything that you receive is a loan. So if you give something, time, resources, attention, literally anything, give it expecting to never get anything back. And if you are given something, expect for someone or something to come and try and take it away, or to try and leverage it against you so that you could be pressured into doing something in return, even though that those weren't in the terms when they did that thing for you. And what I'm saying right now isn't anything new. I mean, just think about middle schoolers who hate doing group work, right? Middle schoolers, 12 and 13 years old, they know that a team project is never a team effort because some kids give and other kids still don't give anything back. And mind you, right, these group projects, they're deals, they're exchanges, they're not favors. The condition is that part of the group does X and the other part of the group does Y. So there's more of an obligation for all parties to give. Yet they don't. And middle schoolers know that. But somehow, many of them, right, us, we become adults and then we become surprised when a favor is thrown back at our face. And that shouldn't be the case. I mean, we can hate it, but it's just the way that the world spins for the most part. If you live by the principle, everything you give is a gift, but everything you receive is a loan, when you end up having somebody's back who doesn't have yours, you'll be disappointed, but you won't be shaken. If somebody ends up pulling some trick on you and tries to guilt trip you into doing something because in the past they did something for you, and even though they might have said it's no problem, anything for you, or no big deal, or whatever they said, you won't get hurt. When you make a deal with somebody, right, who flakes on you, you would have been prepared. No matter what comes your way, if you live by this principle, you are prepared. And no matter what you give, if you live by this principle, you give it being truly generous because you now expect nothing in return. I just wanted to share that. Let me know what you think. Stay safe and thanks for listening.